Okay.
While this is taking place, Brittney Griner comes out and says, I am so sick and tired of the WNBA. It used to be a peaceful, small little thing. Now there's crowds screaming, hollering. This is disruptive. It's not allowing us to play the game. This is her quote. I don't know if you saw this or not when she gave that.
Patrick Bet-David recently delivered what many viewers described as one of the harshest reality checks ever heard on a podcast. The discussion erupted after Brittney Griner made controversial remarks about Caitlin Clark, including comments that suggested racial undertones, sparking widespread debate and intense reactions across the basketball community. However, Patrick Bet-David was having none of it. He pushed back forcefully, bringing up Brittney Griner's imprisonment in Russia before criticizing her complaints about noisy crowds at WNBA games. His response was sharp and uncompromising, leaving a strong impression on many viewers. Whether it was his reference to Griner's time overseas or his argument that the league should appreciate the increased attention and fan engagement it is receiving, his remarks quickly became one of the most talked about moments from the discussion.
I'd have fun with you. Brittney Griner, what she says, right there, watch this. Every time we play her, there's this commotion. Like this loud rumbling from the stands. Turns out it's people, thousands of them, just sitting there watching.
To be completely candid about what unfolded on Patrick Bet-David's podcast, Brittney Griner found herself facing intense criticism and a response that many viewed as a major reality check. During the discussion, attention centered on Griner's remarks about crowd noise at WNBA games, along with comments that some interpreted as carrying subtle racial implications regarding Caitlin Clark. Bet-David responded by challenging her perspective and bringing up issues from her past that he believed added important context to the conversation. The controversy began after Griner suggested that WNBA games once had a much quieter atmosphere, even describing them as places where someone could supposedly bring a laptop and comfortably work while the game was being played. That statement quickly drew criticism, with many questioning why a professional athlete would view louder, more passionate fan support as something negative rather than a sign of the league's growing popularity. For many observers, the comments seemed surprising on their own, but the surrounding circumstances made the debate even more intense.
Used to be a chill, quiet place. You could bring your laptop and relax, maybe even get a little work done. But now, it's like there's large gatherings of people watching us from the stands. Some of them are yelling crazy shit about what they're seeing, putting unfair pressure on us to score, like we're there for their entertainment. You are! The whole thing is toxic. I saw a guy with his daughter in the crowd, both of them yelling, couldn't hear what they were saying exactly, but it was either my performance or some light racism. But
Griner stated that WNBA games used to have a more relaxed and quiet atmosphere, but now they have grown into major events with packed crowds, passionate fans, and people loudly reacting from the stands. She expressed frustration over what she described as the pressure to perform for an audience, as if players are expected to provide entertainment. Critics quickly pushed back, arguing that entertaining fans is a fundamental part of professional sports. The most controversial part of her comments came when she talked about seeing a father and daughter in the crowd shouting during a game. She admitted she could not clearly hear what they were saying, but suggested it might have been criticism of her performance or possibly some form of racism. The phrase light racism immediately sparked debate because many felt she was making a serious accusation without knowing what the fans were actually saying. To her critics, the assumption itself revealed how she was interpreting the growing attention and scrutiny surrounding the league. Patrick Bet-David strongly challenged those remarks, arguing that Griner needed a different perspective. He pointed out that not long ago she was detained in a Russian prison, facing a serious legal situation in a foreign country before being released through a high-profile prisoner exchange. His argument was that given everything she had experienced, she should have a greater appreciation for the opportunity to compete, receive public support, and be part of a league gaining massive attention.
Brittney Griner was in a Russian prison. You would think that somebody who is now free, back in America on home soil, would not have too much to complain about. Especially something like this.
The criticism became even stronger when PBD pointed out the contrast between Griner's past experiences and her current complaints. After returning to the United States and getting the chance to play the sport she loves in front of passionate fans, some felt it was surprising that her focus was on the noise rather than the opportunity itself. Bet David's argument was that someone who had experienced imprisonment in another country might view freedom, competition, and public support from a completely different perspective. In his view, the excitement surrounding WNBA games should be seen as a positive sign of growth rather than something negative. The timing of Griner's comments also added fuel to the debate because they came during a period when women's basketball was reaching new levels of popularity and financial success. The league has seen increased attention, larger audiences, stronger television deals, and more revenue, with much of the recent momentum being connected to the surge of interest around Caitlin Clark. Critics argued that the very things Griner was criticizing, louder crowds, bigger audiences, and increased media attention, are the same factors helping raise opportunities for every player in the league through higher revenues, better exposure, and potentially improved salaries. The discussion also turned toward the racial dynamics surrounding Clark's rise. Some argued that parts of the criticism directed at her success were not purely about basketball, but also reflected discomfort with the level of mainstream attention a young white player has received compared to many black athletes who have contributed to the sport for years. At the same time, Bet David acknowledged that Clark's background may play a role in attracting certain audiences, but he emphasized that her popularity is also driven by her undeniable basketball ability. Clark's exciting playing style, competitive mindset, and ability to capture the attention of casual fans have made her one of the biggest names in women's basketball. Her performance on the court, including finishing among the top candidates in MVP voting, has helped prove that her success is about much more than just publicity.
WNBA says they want to get paid more. They're saying this year they're going to make $1 billion. That's what they're saying, okay? For the first time ever. Now that Caitlin Clark is hurt for 2 weeks, did you see ticket prices? Insane. Let me read you the ticket prices. After Caitlin Clark's been hurt for 2 weeks. All right? So let's go through this. Caitlin Clark absence is having an immediate impact beyond the court. According to data shared by Yahoo Sports via TickPick, prices for 2 specific Indiana Fever away games against the Chicago Sky and the Washington Mystics dropped sharply after Clark was sidelined. Before the injury, the lowest ticket available for Fever's matchup in Chicago was $86. For the game in Washington, fans needed at least $41 to get in. After the news of Clark's absence, those get-in prices fell to $20.
Patrick Bet David challenged Brittney Griner's comments by arguing that professional sports come with passionate fans, pressure, and expectations. He compared the WNBA to the NBA, NFL, and other major leagues, where crowd intensity is considered part of the experience, not a problem. PBD also pointed out that Caitlin Clark's popularity is backed by measurable results like ticket sales, ratings, and merchandise growth, not just media hype. He argued that the league should embrace the attention and revenue Clark has brought instead of criticizing the very factors driving its success.